For our group project, we used the standard agenda to create a hypothetical solution to improve work-from-home experiences. To start off the project, we brainstormed ideas of problems or inconveniences that COVID-19 has caused. To do this, we opened up a group Google Doc where all of us could contribute our ideas at the same time. And every idea was encouraged, no matter how outlandish or unrealistic they were. After we determined that we had enough problems written down, we repeated the same process for solutions to each problem. After discussing it as a group, the 6 criteria we used to filter our giant list of problems and solutions are: 1. Safety. We wanted the solution to be free from danger. 2. Feasibility. We preferred the solution to be realistic and actually achievable. 3. Cost effective. We wanted the solution to be worth the cost of developing and implementing it. 4. We wanted the solution to be easy to implement and for it to not be too difficult to put into place. 5. We wanted the solution to be timely. And 6. We wanted the solution to be desirable. We thought that people would have to want to be the subject of the solution for it to be fully effective. The information that we based our problem on was from the mental health statistics from the CDC. The information from the CDC was credible since it's a US federal agency, current since they have been taking data from the start of the pandemic to now, and sufficient with having survey data from various demographics. An example of faulty information related to our problem is the article that was made by 2 Californian doctors. They used non-credible and misleading information to support their claims that it was safe to open up the country and put an end to working from home. For our decision making during this project, pretty much all of our decisions were made based on our consensus. The consensus was made in open discussions where everyone had a turn to speak their opinions. Coming to a consensus on important decisions like our meeting times or which solution we would go with involved lengthy discussions and took relatively long amounts of time.
So now is when we actually started to use the standard agenda to solve our problem. The first step of the standard agenda is the problem identification. What is the question? And our question was, how can people make the most of the difficulty of working from home, whether it be for their job or for school? The second step was problem analysis, where the group researches and gathers information about the problem and tries to determine how serious it is or what causes the problem. We were very easily able to think of many difficulties of working from home, both together and through reading resources online, such as people might have trouble with technology or not have access to it, too much screen time, need for childcare, feeling disconnected, straining your eyes, being inside all day, anything like that. And we know this is a very serious problem because it's affecting the entirety of the country and a lot of our world right now. That's how we knew that it was something that needed to be solved. Next, for step 3, we had to come up with some solution criteria, set the standards. So these were used to evaluate the decisions and solutions that we would later come up with to the problem. We established criteria and then put them in an order that we thought was the most priority. First, of course, was safety. Second, feasibility, because if we weren't able to do it, it would be ineffective. Third was cost effectiveness, to make it accessible to many people. Fourth was ease of implementation, because it had to be feasible again. Fifth was timeliness, because this is a pretty pressing issue that's affecting all of us right now. And sixth was desirability. Was it actually something that people would want to do? We will later use this criteria to decide the best way to approach the problem that we've been given. Next up, we had step 4, which is the solution suggestion step, where we generate alternatives. Our group came together via video call and brainstormed a ton of possible solutions. We just kind of let our minds go wild. We talked about hosting webinars and making YouTube video tutorials about how to use Zoom and other platforms. We talked about teaching people how to meal prep or creating a home office space, getting a stand-up desk or blue light glasses to help with the physical effects of this work from home, talking with your family or putting a sign on your door to establish boundaries, helping people find good internet deals, taking advantage of your porch or deck or any way to get outside while you're doing work. For your children, hiring a nanny or caretaker or giving them something to do, keeping a separate space for working and relaxing, and maintaining a consistent schedule. All brainstorming ideas of how people could live a better life while working at home. The next step of the standard agenda is step 5, solution evaluation and selection, deciding by criteria. This is where we consider all of the solutions we thought of in terms of the criteria that we established before. We wanted to combine all of our criteria and priorities so that we could provide for as many people as possible and allow them to self-diagnose for their specific situation. Everyone is in a very different situation right now, and for some people, their priorities might be different. Yes, it is very safe and safety oriented to get childcare for your children, but not everyone may be able to afford that. So we wanted to make a hotspot where people could access all kinds of information and a hub for people to find tips and tricks for how to make their life working at home easier. This is how we decided that we wanted to come up with a blog or a web page with resources for each of the problems that we named before. This could include meal prep recipes for the week, ideas for activities to keep your kids busy, ways to connect with local nannies or other caretakers, anything like that, videos, chat forums, anything like that. It would be one place where people can access all kinds of information and help each other out and be a part of a community. And to briefly cover the not required step 6 about solution implementation and follow through, like it says in the book, there are 2 challenges that can occur with this. There's Murphy's Law that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So we have to consider what could go wrong, whether that be copyright infringement, fees that maybe we can't afford, people putting up fake information, people trolling on the website. There are definitely things that could go wrong that would need to be thought of before implementing this. The second challenge that often happens with implementation and follow through is that groups don't actually plan how they would implement this. When we spoke about it, we spoke about all the different options of platforms that you can create free websites on, such as Google Sites, and other ways that we could get the word out through social media and through other apps to get more and more people to be on our website. So that's how we use the standard agenda to solve our problem of how people can make the best of working from home.
Okay, so here is our creative problem solving slide. Here we have creative problem solving methods. One of those being hosting webinars or YouTube video tutorials, like particularly how to use Zoom, creating a home office space away from your relaxation space, maintaining a specific schedule, having a separate space for working and relaxing, and getting a stand-up desk or having a blue light glasses, pair of blue light glasses. All right, so here's our storming slide. This slide includes the problems that we had during this project. So scheduling a time to meet that worked with everyone's school schedule and social schedule. For example, I know I was away at the mountains for a little bit during this project, and so I didn't have internet up in the mountains, so that didn't always work out. FaceTime did not always work properly, so we had to turn to Zoom, which has glitches. Agreement with our problem for our project was a struggle. Without meeting in person, we had to use technology that would break up during online meetings. Just like I already said, Zoom would break up a lot.